Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I got another great guest, and of course, he's in real estate because that's the audience. That's what I love to have. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got Luis Melo on the RNG radio show. Luis, how are you doing today, man?
Hey, what's up, Daniel? Great to be here. I'm doing great, man. Can't complain. I'm here in Huntington Beach, California, and living the life, working
Nice.
on what I like and doing what I like every day.
Cool. I love that, man. We're trying to mirror your weather, but I think in Philly we're going the opposite way since it's getting to the fall and yay, pumpkins and cold weather and snow. So definitely looking forward to getting out to Cali. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to run through this man's bio. He's been truly a success, and even just the brief conversation I had with him yesterday really got me inspired. So Luis Melo is a land investor and a realtor in California. He's been working with real estate for the past 4 years and has found his niche in vacant lots. As you can tell, with the for those that can't see, based upon the lot behind him, he has done over 175 transactions across the U.S. He is a problem solver at the core, helping all sellers with their probate needs, LLC problems, behind on taxes, title issues, and so much more. He got his developer license from USC at the beginning of the year, and he sends about 20,000 monthly offers via text, call, and mail. So we're definitely going to deep dive on that strategy today. And in most of his deals, he can close them without using his own money. This is what I love about real estate, y'all. Y'all got to pay attention. He is coaching people daily on how to flip land because he knows he can't buy and sell all the land alone. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
Luis. So, Luis, I want to get started, man. What was the story? Let's start with the story. What said like, yo, vacant lots. I can make some money there. Tell us what happened, man. What got you started?
So yeah, Daniel, thanks for introduction. That's awesome. I've been very fortunate to be in real estate. First of all, I heard from someone that real estate was the easy access to wealth in the United States. So I started learning about becoming an agent, and I became a realtor here in California. And in the meantime, I got introduced to a lot of different streams of making money in real estate, like foreclosure, for sale by owner, mobile homes. And one day someone came to me with vacant land. I would go to Sizzler on every Wednesday to meet like with old investors, and they were like super interested in teaching people other things. And they like, Luis, this guy is going to come to LA and he's going to teach about land, how to flip land without using your money. And I was just so hyped that I read all the articles, I read all the material before the class, and I was ready for it. It was one full day of class, and he was able to teach us how to do it. I just jumped on it, and I sent about 1,200 letters without knowing like what a good location was. And I got a bunch of phone calls back. I remember that I got between 60 to 80 phone calls. With that being said, in the next 3 months, I got a property under contract, and I was able to sell it right after. I went to his live 3-day course in Arizona where he dove deep into the land business. And Daniel, it was just amazing because during the event, I was able to sell the property to some other people. And like Florida, Nevada, and states like Hawaii, you can use the buyer's fund to pay for the whole transaction. And that's what he was teaching me. Like, you find a buyer before you have to close on the seller. And with the money from the buyer, you pay the seller and the difference is yours. And that's what I started doing. And it helped me scale my business because I was broke. Like, I was really, really broke. I was in debt in my credit cards for like almost $20,000.
Wow.
Yes, I was in deep debt. I gladly got a credit card with zero interest for, I think, the first 18 months. And I was able to like just pay the minimum payment. And with 12 months, I paid everything with the land money. I was able to actually like see myself out of that hole. But I did eat at McDonald's, like their dollar menu. I would go there for lunch so I can save some money to send more letters because I found that it was very good return. Being a realtor was really tough. So being the land investor was a little bit easier because I would have my pipeline way bigger because people don't get much mail about their land. They get mail about their house, their multifamily project, but land doesn't give you any cash flow. It's just costing them money every year.
Wow, Louis, you just gave not only your success story, the game plan on what folks need to do. Like, we honestly could just stop the interview right now and say, hey, folks, please rewind 550 times because that was it. That is the game plan. Thank you so much for that.
I did say a lot, man. I was just like,
no. I love it. I love it because people think that it's like, hey, I wanted to get in real estate, and I'm a realtor myself, and I'm always hearing about folks not putting in the time. You showed proof that you put in the time. You're showing results, what happens when you do put in the time. So folks need to hear like, hey, Louise took 12 months. He was doing minimum payments, easy and at McDonald's. He is making sure that what comes across his plate is adequately set up for him for the future. And a lot of people say like, oh, I'll make 5 phone calls today and then say stop. And they're like, I'm not getting anywhere. Let me just go back to my W-2 job, or let me figure out another hustle to try to figure out how to make it. And Louise, you broke it down so clear and concise. There's no reason why people can't be successful from this. Now,
and let me just tell you something.
Go ahead.
So it took me a year to finally quit my day job. In the beginning, once I started learning about real estate, as you know, there's no money coming in. You're just spending money on courses, classes. You're trying to become a realtor, and that is expensive. So I would serve at night. I would be at the restaurant in Universal Music and in LA, Universal Studios.
Okay.
In Los Angeles. So I would serve people at night. When I would go home, I would do some researches on areas to send letters for vacant lots. So I did that for probably like 6 months at night. And during the day, I would do my realtor stuff because it's so awesome that you see online, you see everywhere things about becoming a realtor. That's so glamorous. And like, you want to be a realtor, you want to fix and flip home. And I was with that in my mind. I want to be a realtor. And it took me some time to focus on the land itself instead of being only a realtor. I was trying to be a realtor and I was trying to be a land investor at the same time. I was like 60% on realtor and 40% on land. I wish I would have done all of it in land because I would have made way more money. And on top of it, I had my daily work that I would go 5 nights a week, work between 6 to 7 hours. And that was a humble beginning. I had a Honda Civic 2004, and it was great because it taught me so much. But if I could come back, I'm still a realtor here in California. I do like 1 or 2 deals a year, but my focus is 95% on land.
Wow. I love that, man. I love that. Thank you so much. I need folks to understand the breakdown and spanning out their day. People think that it's like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Even after doing, let's say, 100 calls, reaching out, you need to find, as Louise put it, ladies and gentlemen, your own niche in this business. So to continue on with the interview, man, because, I could just hear about your story all day. Let's give some folks some gems. So as mentioned, real estate as well as, vacant lots go hand in hand. How do you find like an excellent location to start investing in? Like, is it just something that you Google? Is it like a newsletter? Are you part of a group? How do you typically find these opportunities?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I think that is my most difficult job, task, let's say it like that, because I have to research so many areas, Daniel. I have to make sure that there is demand. First of all, it's demand. That's like what I'm looking for. But I want to see if there is like low or high inventory. If I see that there are more properties for sale than there are sold, I might not want to go there. because there's too much competition, right? And the market is saturated. And also what I do, it's like research online, like what are the next places where people are moving to? Is it Florida? Is it Arizona? We can't go to LA or Tucson or big cities. We got to go driving like 30, 40 minutes from it so we can find a good location. But the best indicator, Daniel, it's demand. You got to research Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, and you're going to see how many properties are for sale, how many were sold in the past 6 months, and how long are they taking to sell, right? Because you don't want to be in a market that takes them a year to sell it. You want to be on a market that takes like 3 months or 3 months tops. As long as you have a good product, you can sell it in 3 months. And that's how you find an area. A lot of research.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. And I mean, to add on to that, and let me get your take on it as well. I did a multifamily presentation with a couple of buddies of mine, and I talked about how the job market is a strong indicator as well. If the jobs are growing there, companies are moving in the area, that's a good indicator as well to not only invest, but also showing a good housing market. What's your take on that as far as, jobs or even the economy in certain areas being a factor in regards to vacant land investments?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I look for. Yes, where the jobs are going to. There's some areas in Texas that there are tech giants coming to. There are some areas in Tennessee that you have the car dealers going to, the car manufacturers. So yes, that's absolutely something that we want to look for. Jobs.
Great, man. Thank you for that. And then also, nice little shameless plug-in. Where can folks find you at on social media? I got a few more questions, but I want folks to take the time, pause the video, or pause what they're listening to right now to look you up real quick. Where can they find you at on social media, or even get in contact with you?
So pretty much what I've been using is Luis, Luis, Land Coach. And that's my Instagram. That's my TikTok. That is my email, luislandcoach@gmail.com. And there you can find all my information.
Great. Awesome. And then back to the questions. How are you able to wholesale land without using your own money? I know past guests that I've had on the show definitely talked about, with off-market listings and doing, pretty much wholesaling as far as, with the assignment fees and such like that. Is it typically the same thing with vacant land where you buy the property at one price and then sell it for a higher price to get that, difference? Typically, how is that process that you foresee and do?
You're right. It's just getting it at a lower price and selling it to someone else at a higher price.
Perfect.
You need to have a strong contract. Your contract is your best friend. And something that came along with me, like I think yesterday, a lady was offering a property for sale in Florida. And I was like, hey, I'm interested in buying. I have some funds that I can use. Can you share with me the address or the parcel number for the lot? And she's like, I cannot. I was like, if you want me to buy this property from you as a wholesaler, you got to give me that information. And she's like, I can't give it to you. And I told her, you must not have a strong contract. And that's what folks go to, they just are learning and they try to do everything on their own and they can't because it's hard. I had to have help, as you probably had help from a lot of people, right, Daniel?
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I don't have any shame on asking for help, And I did a lot in the beginning of my land business, asking other land investors questions about like, what is a good market? Can you send me a copy of your contract? Let me take a look. What kind of letters do you send to sellers? Are there neutral letters, blind offers, all questions? So it boils down to a system, Daniel. We're wholesaling. We're locking a piece of property on a piece of paper, right? And we're selling that piece of paper to someone else. That's it. That's what we're doing. But to do that, you have to talk to thousands of people. That's why I do 20,000 like total text message, voicemail, and cold calling, and also the letters, because it takes 10 of them that will say yes. It's a very low percentage.
That's incredible. And let's peek into your system here real quick, because when I read your bio, and even when you had initially reached out to me, I'm like, 15 to 20K, how's this guy doing it? What system are you using, if you don't mind me asking? Like, do you have virtual assistants that's handling this for you, or are you using something automated, or is it just you yourself, or are you pretty much instructing a team to do this for you?
It's insane, the amount of data that I have to collect and I have to go after. It drives me crazy sometimes, Daniel, because there's a lot of work, So yeah, I do have two VAs full time. One is in Miami, so she's like on the call, she's calling everyone, and the other one it's in Philippines, and she does the texting for me because her English is not 100% perfect. And when I have someone on the phone, I need my assistant to be flawless. She has a better English than mine, She's better to communicate than me. She speaks Spanish as well. And so we do like a lot of calls. She's managing, I don't know, like 30 people a day, because there's a lot of people that do not answer the phone. So at least 30 people she's talking to real life. And that's hard to do. Once you are in real estate, to get a hold of people, it's like so hard. And then the one from Philippines, she does like about 600 text messages every day. So she gets probably 50 replies a day, and she goes over, talk to them, ask questions. And then my job is to see the property and see how much I can offer for. So I can tell them. So I can tell the one that's on the phone, because pretty much everyone that texts back, I need my VA from the Philippines to talk to them in person. I mean, via the phone, because you build that connection. You're just not texting, hey, I'm going to offer you $10,000 for your lot. No, yeah. I want her to call them. How are you? How's your day going? Can you share the story about your vacant lot? What would happen if you don't sell it? What would be the least amount in cash that you would take for the property? Sounds like a very good vacant lot. Why would you sell it to us? And they come with emotional answers, right? It was my dad. He passed away. I have some property taxes that I haven't paid. There's some title issues. I thought I was going to build in the future, but we couldn't. So I need to know why first. I don't even ask questions about the vacant lot, like how big it is. No, I don't care. I have that information on 2 clicks. We ask questions about themselves and what would they do with the money. We ask them, what are you going to do with the money when you sell the property?
Wow. And you hit on something really key, is or alluded to, I should say, is their relationship. A lot of people think that it's supposed to be strictly transactional. And that's one thing I'll say to my prior brokerage I was with. When I started off in real estate, I was with Keller Williams. And the first thing they said to me is that this is a relationship business. Don't treat it transactional, because you're going to get transactional results. You make 100 calls, and, if you're not putting any harder effort into it, you're going to end up with nothing. But if you're making 100 calls and you're reaching out to folks, seeing what's going on with them, I mean, that's a bonus question right there. Just asking them, like, hey, what are your plans to do with after the money? Like, you're building that rapport with them. And it's not just to be nosy, but it's like, hey, what's your drive? I want to see if I can help you in other ventures that you got currently going on, or what your next steps are. So that's truly key, man. So just gem after gem. Another question for you. How many properties do you buy and sell a month? And do you visit any of them in person? Because I know you mentioned out in California, there's Texas, there's Florida. And and I know you said you do across the U.S., but what are your primary states that you work in? So I know I hit you with a lot. Let's start with how many properties do you typically buy and sell a month?
So usually it's between 5 and 7 properties that we're buying and selling every month. It was a little bit slower the last 3 months because people were not buying. They were scared of the interest rate, but now it's back full time. I just signed today on 9 vacant lots. A mobile notary came to my house and I sold 9 different vacant lots to 6 different sellers. So a couple of them bought more properties. What is the next question?
The other question was, do you get a chance to visit any of them in person?
I don't. I don't like to drive as much, so I just stay in at my house in my computer, doing research and looking at them from Google Maps, Street View. So out of all the properties that I have sold, I probably have seen, I would say, 6 or 7. One time I went to Hawaii just for fun. We were going to Hawaii, and I was like, I want to check the property that I'm buying. It was already sold. The neighbor was already buying it, but I just wanted to see. And it was just a bunch of trees on it. And I was like, dude, what am I looking at? I don't know what am I looking at. So I'd rather just not see the property in person. But as you can see behind, I hire photographers.
Okay.
So before I buy the property, I hire someone. I pay like $100, $200. They go there, they go take nice photos, they put a for sale sign. And with that, I can see everything about the property. And I can see online if there's electricity nearby, if there are homes. So what's the point of me driving all this way? I'd rather be at my house eating and doing paperwork and sending offers, you know?
Wow, I love that. And you had mentioned Hawaii, and we talked about California and Florida, as well as Texas. What are some of the other states that you primarily work in?
Arizona, Florida, California, Nevada, Hawaii, Colorado, North Carolina. But I have letters going everywhere
Okay.
because I pretty much I can do my job from my house, right?
Yeah.
So why not go everywhere? Once I get a deal accepted, that's when I'm gonna dissect that area even more. But I'm going everywhere. Every month I'm looking for a new area.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. And then what are the current trends in the real estate market that investors and buyers need to be aware of? I know we talked about the high interest rates, which is crazy right now. And it's like, oh no, we shouldn't be seeing any more bumps. But of course we are seeing basis points increase left and right. So outside, of course, the typical interest rates, what other things are you seeing right now in the market buyers and investors should be aware of?
I see that more sellers are willing to sell their property for less money. They're finally accepting that they lost the chance to get more money for their property in 2021 and beginning of 2022. So they're like, if I want to sell this property, I'm going to have to take a loss from previous years, right? A lot of them have the mindset that in 2021, the price was $100,000, but right now the price is $70,000. So they're coming to the realization, and I can see that in more contracts coming my way. More sellers are signing the contract because before they were not signing as much because they wanted top dollar for their property. So that's what I see. People are like, finally, yeah, real estate, economy, everything. What's going to happen? Winter, it's not summer anymore. And demand is going down. But as long as I get a property, Daniel, for a good price, I'm okay. I make my money on the buying side.
Right. All right. I love that, man. And then, so there's some folks, because you had mentioned, and I know folks were probably freaking out listening to this, $100 to $200 for photography. VAs, I know they come with the price as well. For somebody who's starting out, and has that limited budget, what are some affordable real estate options that folks can do getting started out?
If they have the time, I would recommend doing the text messages. They only cost you 2 cents. per message. You do have to pay like $500 a month for 10,000 text messages. But the most expensive thing is sending the letters because of the stamps, right?
Right.
Stamps are like 66 cents. When I started, it was like 45.
Yeah,
It's expensive. It's like every letter that I'm sending, it's costing me like 80 stamps because I don't do it myself. I have a company in Florida that prints and mail it to me. Uh, I would recommend doing the texting, and also there's something called Fly Broadcast where you can, it's a ringless voicemail. Go straight to the voicemail and they will call you back. But again, you're going to have to spend some money, Daniel. I'm telling you that you're not going to have to spend your money on buying the property and selling the property, but you're going to have to spend some money on sending letters and reaching out to people. That is something that we have to as investors.
yeah, absolutely.
But it's not like if you have something that's $10,000 under contract, doesn't mean that you need the $10,000. You know
right.
what I'm saying? You can find someone to buy it for 20. Or if you don't have enough time to buy it because of your contract, you can find a land investor that will fund the deal, take 25-30% of the profit, and here you go. I have done that. I do that on a daily basis. I use other people's money because I don't have enough funds to buy all these properties that I'm buying.
No, it's 100% right and correct, and it's what is it? The saying goes, it's like I'd rather have half of something than zero of nothing. So, splitting that opportunity with others. But the key thing I want folks to take away is budgeting. What you're budgeting your admin. Budgeting. What you need to do in order to get the job done. At the end of the day, once you do have the deal, especially in a contract, as you said, hey, doors are going to fly out the opportunity, especially when you got the right deal in front of you. Now, if you got a property that's, probably worth $250,000 in an area where properties, are around 100,000, 150, yeah, you're not making any money off of that. And people are going to look at you like, why did you even sign for this contract? So definitely the research, definitely the evaluation.
And Daniel, I
Yeah,
want to share something because it's so
yeah,
important what you just said. If you have a property under contract at 250 because you made a mistake and the property they only sell it for $150,000,
yeah,
the beauty of land is that you can just cancel the contract, or you can ask them for a price deduction. I have never lost money. I have canceled a bunch of contracts because we all make mistakes. We don't see that the property is on a slope or on a hill. I did the opposite, a hill or a slope. So, sometimes you make mistakes and you offer too much money for a property. But that's why you have your 60, 45 days period to make sure you're doing something good, to make sure you're allowing yourself time to find that buyer, right? And yeah, I have done both. I have canceled and I go and ask for price reduction all day long.
I
It's
love
okay.
that. Yeah,
My
no, it's
my
just that ease, man. Thank you for adding on to that because I have come across wholesalers, especially in the Philadelphia market, where they're like, "Oh man, they're either asking for an extension or they're stuck because they're about to lose out on the earnest money deposit." And it's just going back having the conversation. Hey, based upon the market or based upon your area, it should be at this price, and discuss it and just cancel the contract. But it's better to learn from your mistakes and lessons now rather than digging yourself into that hole. So
my
thank you.
my contract is so strong. There's no earnest money deposit, Daniel. Zero. I have never done it. I have never gave any seller earnest money deposit. And even if I did, I would have a strong contract that would allow me to get that money back during my whole due diligence period.
Wow.
You got to be smart. You got to be
We're gonna
smart
have
on
to do
that.
like a part two, man.
Someone told me something, and it's this: you got to go and do a deal as if you were broke. Because if you have too much money in the bank and you get cocky, you're gonna lose money. Every deal that I do, it's like I'm broke. You know, I don't have any money in the bank to give it to you. This is how much I'm offering. You know what I'm saying? Because if I have that mentality of like, I have too much money in the bank, I can offer another $5,000. I'm not going to make any money. No, this is the bottom line. You don't want to do a deal, don't do it. But I'll follow up with you in 4 months.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Oh man, I love that. Listen, I got one more question, and then we got to wrap up here, just because I'm late for another call. What keeps you motivated, man? What keeps you on the grind? Because you're gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days. What keeps you steady going on your course?
I would say it's a daily routine. It's meditating, and it's the responsibility of a man and having a family. But pretty much it's like I exercise a lot. I do my meditation. I read. Those are the things that help me. I listen to podcasts that will lift me up, and I have therapists. I have people that I talk to about my life, and they can guide me through the difficult moments. It's like I said, I can't do everything on my own. I need help from others.
Wow. Luis, thank you again so much for coming on the show, man. I'm definitely looking forward to having you come back. I got some more questions, but unfortunately, I got to wrap up here. One more time, though, can you give that contact information as far as where folks can find you at on social media or get in contact with you?
Yes, Luis Land Coach, Luis Land Coach. And that's my Instagram. I'm able to teach people how to do what I do. Flip land without using their money on the deal.
Love it. Love it. Thank you again, Luis. And I'll be talking to you again soon, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Daniel. You're awesome, man. Way better than the way I was thinking. I was like, man, you're like on top. You're like so smart. I love it.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna record that part for my wife so she knows.
Yes, please do. They would love it.
Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.